Hello, it's Katie here with my Clockwork Faery Moriko, and ignore the mess in the background. We are doing some renovation, so everything's a mess right now. And now moving on, we are going to be doing a body review of this girl today. And I would just love to say that I'm absolutely in love with her. She is amazing. And unlike what I said in my box opening, her ears do in fact fit on her head. I just had them in the wrong spots. But as soon as I messaged Hadassah, she immediately messaged me back and told me what the issue was. So it was definitely all me. Like an idiot. But moving on to her head, she takes 26mm eyes. She has the cutest little face. Her head cap, it's just plain, there's no engraving or anything. And there's her inside her head and the little nifty hook. Okay, and let's talk about her head movement. So this is as far as she can look down and up. That's it. That's all she has. Side to side is even less. And turning it, she will turn this way pretty good until like about there. But this is about as far as I'm willing to force her to turn. For some reason, she does not want to turn more than that. I don't know if it's something with the hook inside of her, but I fear that if I try to force it, she will break. So head movement could be better, but she is cute enough to get away with it. So moving on to her arms, she does have a floating piece right here, and then goes down to her arm, and you can see just how thin the resin is. So I'm incredibly careful when playing with her. Going back to the shoulder, I absolutely love this piece. I love it on my Dark Sue elf too. I think it just really ups their mobility. She can raise her arm even higher. And she can bend it back further with it. Okay. And again, higher. Trying to get it straight. It's hard to tell if she's straight when she's looking at the camera. So down, 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 and falls. Sometimes it's better than that though. Okay. So this arm, she can go higher on it. Drop down. So even though she can go higher, the thing with her arms is after so close to her body, you cannot get them any closer, and that is especially true for this one. She was not like that when I first got her out of the box. This is something that I did. I don't know if I got her stringing twisted up or what, but I can't get her arm to go any further than that inside her body. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But it's also on the same side that on this side, which she lacks the turning ability. So I don't know if there's something going on with that side, maybe. Anyway, her elbows, that's what they look like from the side, from the front, and from the back. There. She does hold in between poses fairly well too. She is single jointed, but even though she is single jointed, she can still touch her face. and she might even be able to do it better if you attempted to wire her. I would be afraid to, because of how delicate and thin her resin is, but you could try it. And as far as this elbow goes, it's the same thing. There's really no difference. Her hands, like her arms and the side of her head, there is a slight difference in her hands too that you'll notice. Side to side, side to side. This one doesn't have as good motion. Down, back. So that one's pretty good. And then this one. That is as far down, and you cannot force it. And that is as far back. Again, I'm not sure why this side of her body has the issues that it does, but it doesn't really bother me. It's just a quirk. The problematic area that I have noticed is right in here. But before we get to that, let me address her torso piece. Two-part torso, and she can lean to the side like that, lean to that side, and that side, so pretty good side to side. Pretty good back. And forward slouch is not as great. However, you could probably suede her, and that might help, because it would create more friction, because she is very smooth. Okay, to the problematic area, this joint. What do you see? She can't sit. And that is because when you try to just sit her straight down like that, her wiring is getting caught in that those notches. So you either have to pull it out or just really force it. I'm afraid the resin will break if I just force it. So I like to just pull it out. And can she sit now? No. Correction. She can sit if you sit her like this. It's not very pretty though. I mean, she makes anything pretty, but I think the problem here is this piece, this hip piece right here, needs to be carved up some, similar to the Resin Song Wrong body and the Mini Fee Moe body. And maybe some sueding too. Moving on, she does have a swivel joint here, and it works very nicely. You can turn it as far around as you want. With that said, it does move very easily on their own. The whole thing does. And that can be a little annoying sometimes, because you won't realize it. And it's very easy for them to do that. But it does swivel nicely, and one of my favorite parts is this part. Just have to pull it out and put it up. Not as smooth as some of them, some other dolls, but once they are up, they do work nicely. She does have single jointed knees, so that's as far up as she's going to get. They do like to snap back into place, so word of caution there. I am afraid that she will snap into. She doesn't want to do it right now. But they usually do work very nicely. You just have to watch because she will snap and back into place. And as you can see, her joints are starting to swivel like that. So you gotta line those back up. And her knees, going onto them, as you can see, they will also become out of alignment. This one has been turned completely around. So you gotta turn it around and then fix it. And this one has not turned all the way around, but it is out of alignment, so you just have to fix that one. So they do that. That is as far as they will go. You can't really force her down anymore. I mean, you might be able to if you really wanted to risk it. I don't want to risk it because her resin is so thin. And where she's so top heavy, I don't think she'd hold it anyway. She's all twisted again. Yeah, she's a very twisty girl. Moving on to her feet. Very cute, very dainty. Down, down, up, down, up. So they're about the same. No real side to side. This one can turn a little bit more, but not much. They're about the same. Standing, she can stand. You have to make sure though that these sockets and everything are completely in alignment, otherwise she won't. And because her feet are so tiny, it is a little finicky sometimes, but she can stand. I will not leave her like this unattended because I am worried that she will just topple over on her own and I don't want her to break. And also her legs, they do not go for inward any more than this. Like, they don't. And you could force them, but they're just gonna pop back in. Now, if you have them all twisted weird, they will. Like that. She's not gonna be able to stand like that. You can see that she's very twisted. And sometimes it's tricky to tell if you have her in the right position. There you go. And just another thing, as just a tidbit of information, she is an artist doll. So there are places that are not perfect. Right there, and like the back of her leg, a little ledge right there, ledge right there. And honestly, that is perfectly okay with me. I think it just gives her more character. The main thing that just worries me is how thin her resin is. But Hadassah did say that for future dolls and stuff, she is going to work on making some areas in the doll have thicker resin. So that's something to look forward to. With all that said, I am incredibly in love with this girl. I could not be happier. One day I may decide to mod this to see if she will sit. I don't know. Like I said, I love her as is. I may suede her at some point. I doubt I will suede her arms just because they're so tiny. But yeah, hopefully this review will help someone. And if you're thinking about getting one, you definitely should. She is a wonderful, wonderful doll, and her maker is also as equally as wonderful, super sweet, and will great communication, and will work with you any way you can. Okay, that is it for now. Thank you.